prices of groceries just keep going up, and to me that means I want to make the most out of using all of my food as much as I can, not only for being more sustainable and reducing my food waste, but also for making sure I'm getting the most bang for my buck out of the produce that I buy. Today I want to walk you through 4 different recipes that I constantly keep in rotation that help reduce my food waste, use up leftover scraps, and help me create new staple ingredients that I can use and keep in my kitchen. And if you want these recipes, be sure to click 10 zero waste cooking recipes in my ebook down below. All right, let's get to it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my channel. This is Made to Sustain, where we help teach you how to make food that's good for you and good for the planet. The first recipe in my zero waste cooking ebook is vegetable stock. This might seem like a simple ingredient, but vegetable stock is purely made from kitchen scraps, which means it's things that you are going to throw away anyway. I like to freeze all of my leftovers in a reusable bag like this, or I have backyard compostable bags called hold-on bags that can just go in the freezer and you can store them for as long as you need and to just collect them over time. So what I like to do is when I'm cooking, I'll take the ends of onions or celery leaves or carrot tops, kitchen scraps, really anything that was, a few leftover cloves of garlic that maybe I'm not going to use in the next couple of days, and I'll store them in a reusable bag like this, and I'll keep them in my freezer and I'll collect them over time until I'm ready to make vegetable stock. To me, the best time to make vegetable stock is on a day where it's really cold out, and it helps make your house all nice and cozy. And what you do is you get yourself a Dutch oven or a large pot, and you take all of your vegetable scraps out and you dump them into your pot and you cover them with just enough water so that way you've got a nice cooking liquid. And then you'll take a lid and you'll cover it so that all of the aromatics stay in the pot, right? And then you'll keep it on low and you'll let it simmer for a couple hours. It's really a mindless activity. You don't have to pay that much attention to it. You just need to come back and make sure, every half hour or so that there's enough liquid in there to make sure that you can continue to extract all of those delicious aromas out of the food scraps. So you'll let that simmer and you'll know it's done once it's golden brown. And then you can use vegetable stocks for things like soups. I've got a recipe for a potato leek soup that I'll link here. That's really delicious. You can make risotto, you can make bouillon cubes out of it, but vegetable stock is a zero waste kitchen staple that is going to save you money. At $2 to $3 a carton in the grocery store, you can make 2 to 3 times that amount for using things that you were going to throw away anyway. So vegetable stock is one of the best things that you can do in terms of zero waste cooking. And for anyone that says you don't have time to make it, next time you're sitting at home alone on your couch watching TV, you can literally keep it on the stove, come back on a commercial and check it, stir the pot, and then go back and sit back down and make sure, literally just leave it there for 2-3 hours and you're good to go. The next recipe on my list is banana bread. Bananas range from looking green to looking yellow to when they start to get brown spots on them like this. This is a good time to throw them either in a smoothie or to start to make your own banana bread. When they get like this, this brown, I'm definitely going to make banana bread. I have to make it probably today at this point. Banana bread is one of my favorite recipes to make with all of my bananas. You need to make sure that your bananas are a little more on the ripe side, but I've got a recipe for that. I'll show you right here how to make it. I like to use whole wheat flour in my banana bread, and I also like to mix in things like oats or flaxseed and cinnamon to add a little bit of texture and depth to the banana bread, but I'll link that recipe here, and make sure you check out the full recipe in the ebook down below. Again, free to download, just sign up and I'll email it to you. The next zero waste recipe that I love to use is something like an egg fried rice is fantastic. There's so many recipes out there for egg fried rice, but the best way to do it is to use things like leftover rice, either from Chinese takeout or from your meal prep. Day-old rice is really going to be the best thing for you to use. And it's a great way to use up whatever kind of vegetables you have in your refrigerator as well. So things like carrots, ginger, leftover garlic. If you have pickled ginger from leftover sushi, throw that in there. If you have things like peppers, onions, bean sprouts are one of my favorite things to use in here. There's so many different variations and there's no wrong way to make it. And there's also so many different ways that you can make it and enjoy it. So here's a recipe that I like to use. But again, feel free to get creative here and don't feel the need to follow the recipe exactly as it is. Use whatever you have. And it's a great way to start using up your leftover ingredients and make sure you don't have any waste in your kitchen. The next zero waste recipe I like to use is to make bread pudding. When I was in college, I worked for a bake shop, and the bakery had old bagels. And at the end of all of our shifts, we would be able to take home whatever was left over. Otherwise, it was going to get tossed. And being somebody, in college, I didn't have a ton of money. They had pizza and they had bagels, and I'd always take home leftovers of both. By the next day, the bagels were too stale to be eaten. But what I found out that I really enjoyed doing was making bread pudding out of those bagels. So bread pudding is, if you've never had it before, it's becoming really trendy on restaurant menus. But what it is it's a great way to use up stale bread, and you cut up your bread or you rip up your bread. It could be sandwich bread, it could be bagels, it could be like a loaf, like a brioche, something a little soft. So when you start to add it into the mixture, it really absorbs all of that liquid really well. So what's in the liquid is things like sugar, vanilla, and eggs, and a little bit of milk. And you mix that all together and it makes a really nice custardy, bread pudding is the best way you can describe it. I think personally I really like it, but I know it can be a polarizing dish. But bread pudding is a fantastic zero waste recipe. I'll show you how to make it in my ebook down below. And then as a bonus recipe, definitely check out my orange peel cleaner. I use it all the time. I made that video 2-3 years ago, and I still use it all the time in my kitchen. It's a fantastic way to use leftover orange peels to make it into something new. If you're looking for more recipes, make sure you check out my ebook down below. It's totally free to you. I've got 10 recipes in there that are all related to zero waste cooking and how to fight food waste and how to make the most out of the ingredients that are in your kitchen today. So make sure you check that out, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks so much.